Good evening, everyone. My name's Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Monday, September the 23rd, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary video brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Before I get into the video here, just want to give you guys a quick reminder to go check out the website. There's a lot of free educational information on the site. At the same time, you can see some of our trade reviews from some of our calls that we make out in our live intraday chat room called mywallstreettv.com. To get access to that mywallstreettv.com service, you can fill out the form on the right hand side of the home page and come check it out. You can also go to the website and see our Tesla trade that we made today, which worked out pretty good, as I'm going to start putting the trade reviews on the Wall Street Trading page, so you can go check that out. Aside from that, let's go ahead and jump into the markets here. The Dow was down 49, close to 50 points today. The Nasdaq was down 9.5 points. The S&P 500 was down 8 points. If we take a look at the breadth in the market, breadth was in favor of the bears today. We had 3,628 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. We had 2,556 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. Therefore, breadth was in favor of the bears. A little over a 1-to-1, but pretty much just a mixed market, I would say. We did see some sector rotation. We continue to see weakness in the financials. All right, we saw a nice little sector rotation into the utilities today, which of course is considered kind of a safe haven. I mean, instead of buying bonds, people will go and buy utility companies. They do pay decent dividends, etc. You guys should know about that if you're a professional trader and you know how to read the market rotation in action. Moving to utilities, not so exciting. Healthcare was weak today. Financials again got smacked down today. Technology sector was a little mixed today. Thanks to Apple being up close to 5%, held the Nasdaq up a bit. But aside from that, if Apple was weak today, the Nasdaq would have sold off more, and I would say the market would have had more selling pressure. Aside from that, basic materials were weak today, and services companies were kind of mixed. Not really seeing much action out there today. Today's action was a little bit slow, if you ask me. But aside from that, let's go ahead and break down the charts, starting with the S&P 500 SPY. The ETF here down 79 cents today, down 0.46%, closing at 169.93. You can see we did hit some support level from our prior resistance from 2 weeks ago. All right, now acting as support. Nice little bounce off that level. Right on top of that rising 20-day moving average around 168.96. We'll have to see how that plays out. If we get a bounce tomorrow, this would be hopefully a decent area for a pivot low for a move back up. However, if we continue to see weakness from this excitement day that we had from the Fed, when Ben Bernanke came out and said they were not going to pull back or taper their quantitative easing program, right, where they're buying those bonds, 85 billion worth of purchases a month. Well, they didn't taper with that, and the market was excited that day. However, the days that followed were not so good, right? Pretty much they sold the excitement to the retail guys. All right, we had a pullback day on Friday. On Thursday, another pullback day on Friday, followed by a pullback day today. So a lot of people got caught up here. All right, this was definitely looking like a potential breakout candle for us to just start leveraging up. But again, come Thursday night or Wednesday night, when people really started looking over what was going on, well, if they're not tapering the market, but they're not tapering their bond purchasing program, that means the economy is not doing so good, which in our reality, that's not good at all, right? So in this case, a lot of people, I would say, got caught buying the top of this market. All right, and we'll have to wait and see what happens, because if they continue to pull us back here, if you got caught buying some stocks up here, you may want to look at getting out of those stocks for a small loss, because we do not know how far this could pull back. All right, at the same time, if we break below 169.39, you want to look for some support around 168 or 167.5. Again, we do have these moving averages right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ES. Well, you guys can see the ES right here on the left hand side real quick. Again, excitement day. Thursday we made a new high again, but then we pulled in, and then we've just been followed by 2 sell days, which is not good. Again, especially if we took out this low right here. So we really want to see what happens around the 1690 level, a critical level, because if we start holding below 1690, you can expect them to come down here and fill this gap that we have from last week's gap up on Monday. Again, it's been an exciting, or I should say a volatile or mentally exciting type of week here. I mean, last week we had the gap up on Sunday, then they sold it, then they rallied us up and sold us off, right? Then we had the nice little bullish day on Tuesday and Wednesday, followed by the excitement a little bit on Thursday, which got sold and then down. So it's pretty choppy out there if you think about it, and we'll have to see what happens with this market here. We'll go through a couple of names again. Let's take a look at Apple. Apple gapped up from that news that came out this morning regarding the expectations of phones that they sold coming in. The expectations for their iPhone 5s, I believe, were pretty low, and then they came out with some news saying that they sold more than expected. That caused the stock to gap up, and this thing looks like it wants to go back up towards 510. May need to pull back a little bit. Again, it has made a fast move from all the way from 450 up close to 495 or so. It may need to consolidate a bit here to see if we can flag out a bit. We'll see what happens. You do not want to be a buyer of Apple right here, though, if you didn't buy it sometime last week. I mean, just wouldn't make sense. Amazon has been a strong stock. Got marked down ever since it came out with their earnings, and then now it's back up here near the highs. If you guys were watching my videos from before, you guys would recall that I was looking for a nice little buy setup somewhere in this area on Amazon from the nice top on top of the consolidation that we had right here that broke out, and now we're all the way back here near the highs. So make sure you subscribe to the videos, watch the videos, share the videos, and check out our website and analysis. And if you get a chance, check out the chat room if you're in front of your screen sometime during the intraday action. You'll hear me on the mic, and we're rocking. All right, so Amazon, Apple. Let's go back into the indices now and take a look at the triple Qs here. Triple Q is still looking pretty good. I mean, we're still hugging that 5 and 8 EMA, SMA rallying up right there. I really wouldn't get too concerned on the triple Qs and NASDAQ 100 unless we start breaking and holding below this key 77 quarter level. Let's go ahead and just call it 77. Aside from that, we have a little uptrend that's intact here a bit from this low, and this low, and we'll see how it plays out. Again, same thing here on the NASDAQ, pulling back for the past 3 days now. IWM, the Russell 2000, which has been a market leading index, still in this nice little upward channel. I would not be too concerned about the Russell breaking down or anything like that until we really start breaking this nice little upward channel that we have. You can see it right here. I have it marked for us. And so far, we're hanging steady. Right now, we're kind of holding above the 50% trend line of that pattern here, or that channel, sorry. And we'll see how it plays out. Again, everything still looks pretty much intact here with the market. Just a couple of days that we've been pulling back here are giving us a little bit of worries. All right, so 1 second. Let me see what else. All right, so let's go through a couple of these stocks here. Actually, let's take a look at the VIX first. All right, the VIX bounced up today. We're back above that key 1353 level. If we get some more buying pressure in the VIX, some more volatility picking up here, we could easily make a move back up towards 16. All right, we have some resistance right here at 15. So keep an eye on the volatility index this week. Keep an eye on that key 15 and 16 level. Do we have any key news coming out? Let's find out. Today was a light day on the economic data side. We had PMI numbers this morning, but that really didn't move the market much. We have a house price index coming out tomorrow, the Case-Shiller housing price index and the consumer confidence Richmond Fed index. So tomorrow could be a very good news-driven day where we get some action from that news. So keep an eye on that tomorrow. But aside from that, let's go and take a look at some stocks here. Let's finish taking a look at some stocks. BlackBerry, as we know, guys, got bought out today for $9 a share. BBRY. Okay. What else? Let's take a look at some of these banks. Bank of America, which has been trying to hold above that key 14 level. Still holding above it here, but Bank of America looks like it could be in trouble because if it breaks below 14, we have all this little space right here, pretty much like an air pocket zone where Bank of America definitely easily slide. Wouldn't find any support until like around say 1340. All right. See, that's not looking too good. That one's been floating up near the highs. JP Morgan down 2.5% today. I told you guys this last week. The financials were to sell off. JP Morgan's the one you want to go to because it's the weakest one. You also see a nice little move off the lows, a little pattern where it tried to flag right here, but it failed and it pretty much gapped down and sold off this morning. Keep an eye on JP Morgan for some more selling pressure. Next target will be back towards this pivot low right here, which also lines up with the 200-day simple and exponential moving average. Stock looks pretty weak. Goldman Sachs caught a nice little bid last week because it got added to the Dow Jones. And you can see this week it's pretty much giving all of that back. What a surprise, huh, folks? Let's see. Wells Fargo, WFC. This one got marked down today. It doesn't look too interesting right now at the moment. Citigroup got hit today. One of the worst performing banks out there today was down close to 3.25%. And if you ask me, this thing's not going to have any support really until all the way back down to like around 47.61, which looks like the target to me. All right, and then so a lot of these bank stocks, guys, aren't looking too strong anymore, right? They're pulling back in a bit. They're still holding their uptrends, of course, but they're not looking too strong. You can definitely tell that the momentum kind of, faded away from those names, and we have to keep them closely on watch it because they did lead the market up this year, and they're now having trouble at these highs, trying to make new highs. So we'll see how that sector plays out. We do have that sector on watch. What else? Technology. Again, we looked at Apple, we looked at Amazon. Amazon, I do like. Google, having some trouble trying to break past this 900 area. You got to keep an eye on the stock to make sure this is not like a lower high that they're trying to put in right here. All right, folks. So keep that on watch. What else are we looking at here? Yahoo. This one has been a nice little power stock. All right, still making new 52-week highs. Well, it made new 52-week highs on Friday, and then pulled back in today. So keep an eye on that name right there. GE has been showing a little bit of strength as well. Got rejected last week. Last week Thursday, sold off on Friday. Now pulling back in. Keep an eye on this name a bit here. A little inside day, nothing too crazy, but again, may need to consolidate a bit before it tries to go up towards those highs. Another stock that we're just watching to see what it wants to do. GMCR has been in play. This stock was pretty weak today. Keep an eye on this one tomorrow for some more selling pressure. Looks like once it broke 82, that was when the sellers came in and pretty much housed the stock down a little over 5.5% today. Stock doesn't really have any real support until like around 67. Okay, and then I would say has some minor support in front of that around the 73.55 level. All right, Tesla Motors, nice move off the lows. We actually caught a nice little trade in this in the chat room. All right, this one's still pretty much intact on the cruising along that rising 8 EMA and 5 EMA SMA. Netflix engulfing candlestick. Keep an eye on this one tomorrow. If it breaks below 300 and holds, you can see that 300 level or 297-ish level has been holding as support for the past 2 weeks or so. If we start breaking below that level and holding, you could see this little trend be vulnerable for a little minor pullback breakdown actions. Keep that one on watch. Aside from that, folks, I'm not going to go through much of the stocks today. I mean, today was pretty slow if you ask me. They sold the market going in 7 o'clock this morning going into the open, therefore making it hard to participate on the short side unless you caught a nice little trend entry on the 5 or something like that. But aside from that, folks, we'll have some more ideas tomorrow. Make sure you come check out the chat room though, because we had some nice ideas this morning. Aside from that, have a great day. You can see most of the information that we post via our social networks. Cheers.